started about 2 years ago, and this is very personal to me, so you'll have to bear with me. I started with Max Employment, and I will give their name out, 2 years ago, as I said. And the first meeting went fine. I did what I had to do when I got home. A week afterwards, I got my letter for my next appointment stating Mr. Heather Eckermann. I wrote a complaint. I sent the letter back, and I walked into the office and I said, I want my title changed. We can't. Yes, you can. I told them I will no longer be accepting any letters entitled Mr. Heather Eckermann. I said, so don't even bother printing them out. But she did. I walked out, she goes, you forgot your letter. I told you I am not taking this letter. I got a letter in the post titled Mr. Heather Eckermann. I returned it to sender, made another complaint. Again, that complaint fell on deaf ears. In the end, I wrote on the letters, stop sending me mistitled fucking letters. And I did use the word fucking. I do apologise. But I was so frustrated by this time I didn't know what else to do. Again, another complaint went in. I started getting letters without the return address on the front of the envelope. So I took the letter out, put it in a fresh envelope, and addressed it to Max Employment at Heatjer. And I wrote on the actual letter, stop sending me mistitled letters. When I told them that I was working for the Sex Industry Network, they told me that my job is illegal, even though the Sex Industry Network is in fact a registered charity and funded by the Health Department. I tried to explain this to many people in that office, and all they said was, I don't care, what you're doing is illegal. Had I thought of it at the time, I would have said yes. Criminal solicitors work in a criminalised industry, but nobody questions their job. I may work with people in a criminalised industry, but my job is very legal. About last year, earlier on this year, it all came to a head. I had to go to the toilet. The door to the hallway was locked, and one of the staff members actually got up very quickly to unlock it, barged in front of me and stood in front of the female toilets and said, can you please use the toilets over there? And I said, why? Because, oh, these are full. And I said, they're the disabled toilets, I'm not disabled, I'm a transgender woman, I'm going to use the female toilets. Another staff member came out from the other end of the hall and said, what's going on? The woman left her post and went to talk to the other female. Don't get my fat side. Although every side these days is my fat side. She left her post, I walked in, did what I had to do, I came out and she stood at the other end of the corridor staring at me as I walked out of the office. I contacted the Human Rights Commission and they set up a conciliation conference for me. They had an internal investigation which came out inconclusive, and at that point I chose to change job service providers and actually wrote in the comments exactly what happened. My next appointment, after having contacted the Human Rights Commission, I was actually that petrified about what they were going to do. I contacted a friend of mine who's a Justice of the Peace and another trans woman. I also contacted Tammy Franks. And Tammy Franks sent one of her support staff into a meeting with me. And the whole atmosphere in the office changed. You would think it was a well-oiled machine, instead of people just standing around yapping to each other, doing precious little. The woman who I made the charges against was actually sitting next to us and didn't even look up from her paperwork. Normally she's always geeking around to see what's happening. I forgot what I was going to say. Max Employment and places like that believe that because we are vulnerable, we have no power. but that's wrong, and they picked on the wrong person in me. You may have wondered why I stayed there for so long. At first, I thought I'd be able to perhaps educate these people and teach them a thing or two, but no, they didn't want to listen. After a while, it was more out of stubbornness. I was going to force them into dealing with me. But it just got too much for me to put up with. Too much mental stress. It was affecting my work, it was affecting a lot of my life, and I did end up self-medication with champagne. Not that it really takes much for me to have a glass of champagne every now and then. So that's my story. I am still looking for a solicitor to take matters further because, as I said, the Human Rights Commission didn't get anywhere. I had 5 demands. They were willing to agree to 4.5 of them. One of those was consultation with the gay, lesbian, trans, intersex and bisexual community as to how they can support the needs of my community. And I said, what consultation process have you gone through? They said, oh, we put a few websites put a few links on our website. And I said, that's not good enough. I want a proper inclusion policy for my community, and I want proper consultation, but they absolutely refused. Obviously, they saw a gap in what they were doing and how they were neglecting the GLBTIQ community, and just wanted a quick fix so they won't put in that situation again. But the fact is, with the attitude that was displayed during the conference, it is going to happen again, which is one of the reasons why I want to take it to court and hit them where it hurts. Thank you.
I'd like to